Welcome to Connected Through Change. Men supporting menopause, two voices, one journey. Your host is Russell Betts, author of the international best-selling book, The Good Husband's Guide to Menopause, and founder of the Connected Through Change movement. Each week, you'll hear both the men's and women's perspectives, so you can understand what's really happening beneath the surface and learn how to stay steady, supportive, and connected through one of life's biggest transitions. If you want clarity, confidence, and a stronger relationship during menopause and beyond, you're in the right place. Let's begin.
You are sitting in the same room where you have spent 1,000 evenings, but the air between you has changed. The house is quieter now. Maybe the kids are older or out of the house. Maybe the frantic high-stakes climb of your career has leveled out into a more predictable rhythm. The urgent, logistical coordination that defined your life for 20 years has finally slowed down. But in that new space, you find yourself looking at your partner and feeling a strange drop in temperature. For 2 decades, you have been a person who builds. You knew you were good because you were loud, active, and visible. You were the fireworks, brilliant, energy-consuming, and defined by the explosion. But now, in the silence, you look at your partner and realize you aren't sure what to say. There is no fire to put out, no schedule to sync. And that lack of signal, that sudden quiet on the line, registers as a deep internal alarm. It makes complete sense that this feels like a threat. You have been conditioned to believe that if the energy isn't surging, the system is failing. It only registers a loss of power. When you feel that chill, your first instinct is to diagnose it as a failure of the system. You think, the fire is going out. But I want to offer you a different way to see that chill. Think back to the early years, the fireworks stage. Think of an open bonfire in the wind. It was spectacular, but the heat was erratic. It dissipated into the atmosphere almost as soon as it was created. You had to keep throwing massive logs onto it just to keep the glow alive. It was beautiful, but it was a high voltage transmission that required constant external fuel. It was an open broadcast in a storm, and so much of that heat was simply lost to the wind. What you are entering now is a different kind of electrical state. It is the transition from heat loss to thermal mass. In the season of the hearth, the heat isn't lost to the wind. It is absorbed by the stones. It becomes a steady, radiating presence that doesn't need to explode to be felt. When you look across the table and there is nothing urgent to say, you haven't run out of things. You have reached the stage where you don't have to perform to exist. The spectacle was about being seen. This sustenance is about being known. The tension you feel, that restless itch to start a debate, or fix a problem that isn't there, or strike a match just because you're afraid of the dark, that isn't a sign of decay. You are misinterpreting radiance as recession. You are mourning the flash of the spark because you don't yet trust the glow of the ember. But a spark, while brilliant, cannot keep a room warm through a long winter. Only the hearth can do that. You are not losing your spark. You are gaining a source of heat that doesn't require you to keep striking matches in the dark. You are moving from the exhaustion of the performance to the rest of the presence. This is not a decline. What you are feeling is not the end of the heat. It is an upgrade in efficiency.
Thanks for joining us on Connected Through Change. Remember, it takes two voices to walk one journey, and you don't have to navigate this alone. To go deeper, grab Russell's international best-selling book, The Good Husband's Guide to Menopause. Explore the weekly blog or take the Communication Clarity Assessment at connectedthroughchange.com. Stay steady, stay connected, and I'll see you in the next episode.